Hi, welcome to Chapsticks Gaming. My name is Brent and today we'll be breathing some new life into some older x58 series PCs. Let's get started. So after looking into the current state of the new PC components market and the crazy pricing for DDR4 memory, I've decided to invest my money into some of the older Intel x58 chipset series PCs, which utilise the 1366 socket. And with that comes excellent per dollar performance. So in order to get my hands on some of these older PC components, I've scoured all across eBay and Gumtree to pick up these two systems. So let's see what I've managed to get. So the first PC that I managed to pick up off Gumtree set me back $180. And for that we got a Cooler Master ATX mid-tower case, which unfortunately has seen better days. However, inside that case we have a Gigabyte GA x58A UD3R motherboard, which boasts features such as triple channel memory for 6 DIMM slots, overclocking and a range of other features. In the socket of that motherboard we have an i7-930 4-core 8-thread CPU, which has a base clock of 2.8 GHz and boosts to 3. And in one of the x16 PCIe slots we have an Nvidia GeForce 9500 GT, which has 512 MB of onboard RAM. We also have a DVD-RW optical drive and a 160 GB hard disk drive. So definitely the main prize in this PC is the motherboard, which I'll be using for my new PC. So let's see what else we picked up. So the second PC that I managed to pick up off Gumtree is an old HP Z400 WorkStation. Now it has a Xeon x5675 CPU, which is a 6-core 12-threaded CPU, clocked at 3 GHz and turbo boosts to 3.4 GHz, and is an absolute monster when it comes to overclocking. Along with that PC is an OEM motherboard, which doesn't boast overclocking abilities. However, it does support triple channel memory, and in the memory modules we have a full kit of 12 GB 1333 DDR3 memory, which is unbuffered. In the PCIe slot of this motherboard we have an Nvidia Quadro FX1700, which has 512 MB of onboard RAM. Again, not going to do great on today's gaming requirements, however will happily put out 1440p, no problems. Along with that we have a DVD-RW optical drive and 2 hard disk drives, one of them 160, the other 750 GB of capacity. So I'm sure that as you've gathered so far, what I'll be doing with these two systems is to take out the Intel Xeon x5675 from our HP system and be pairing it with the Gigabyte motherboard that we've picked up with the Cooler Master rig. In addition to that, I'll also be taking out the 750 gig hard disk drive from our HP system, the Nvidia Quadro FX1700, and I'll be keeping the DVD-RW optical drive that's come with our Cooler Master system. So in addition to the hardware that I've picked up, both systems came pre-installed with Windows 7 Professional 64-bit. So the first thing I went ahead and did was to upgrade both of those to Windows 10 64-bit Professional via the Windows 10 Creation tool, so I can confirm that both of those systems are now legitimately activated to Windows 10 Pro 64. So in order to spruce up our older Intel Xeon x5675 and Gigabyte x58 motherboard, we've gone ahead and bought the following products you see here on the table. So their new home will be a Cougar MX330 mid-tower ATX case. Now that's capable of holding a 5¼ inch bay, so that I'm able to install a CD DVD-RW optical drive into that one, which is just as important to me as a 3.5mm jack on a mobile phone is. It's also able to hold two 2.5 inch drives, two 3.5 inch drives, along with 7 PCIe slots, so plenty of room for expansion there. Now to power all of this, I've got myself a Silverstone 750 watt fully modular power supply. Now that's rated at 80 plus gold efficiency, so there's plenty of room for expandability. When I do finally invest in some graphics cards, I'll be able to put in dual Crossfire or dual SLI for Nvidia graphics cards there, which is fantastic, and I'm sure that'll be able to follow me to the next system that I build after I'm done with this one. So for $82 I managed to pick up a Western Digital Green 240 gig SATA SSD, which will be running the operating system, and to cool our CPU we have a Cooler Master ML240R RGB, which I've managed to pick up for $139. So not only will that add a bit of style to our computer, but when paired with the Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut thermal grease, we know that we'll be getting the best potential out of our overclock Xeon. So without further ado, let's get building. Alright, here we go. Well, we're booted on. Alright, so as we can see here that through DVI we're displaying and booting up without issue. So there we go, we can confirm that it's now working, so I'm going to go ahead and tidy up the cabling one last time and also put on the acrylic window.